Excuse me, my bad. I apologize for that. It did not matter whatever he used to defend himself with. The issue was that he defended himself against the immediate threat of harm to be committed against him. And the district attorney's office is taking this case overboard by taking false information to the grand jury to indict him for M1. So as of right now, we want that indictment to be dismissed based upon the simple facts of this case, that the facts prove that he is justified and that he did not have to retreat and that he acted it in good standing to defend himself, man.
Okay, so I hear that sounds good, but we hear that we hear so much. We've been hearing a lot concerning this case. So with that being said, how can, because I really honestly don't think that he's gonna get a fair trial because of everything that's going on. You got panel after panel after panel after panel, and then the dad's jumping on panels. You got the mom jumping on panels. You got the brother jumping on panels. You got different people jumping on all these panels, and the jury pool is being tainted. It is being tainted, so he is not going to get a fair trial. And then we look at how do they determine the 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 people, the indictment, the people that bring the indictment, the court that bring the indictment, how do they determine the people that brought this indictment upon them? How did they draw who was going to sit in that room? Because I know the defense lawyer was not welcome and the defense was not welcome. So how did they determine who was going to sit in that room? And do you
Okay.
think that that was something that maybe the district attorney walked over there and had somebody to sign off on? Because from my understanding, I hear people say on these panels that if you can, a ham sandwich can get indictment. So if a ham sandwich can get an indictment, that means anybody can get an indictment. So please explain that so that people like myself that really don't know nothing about the law, how can we grasp and get an understanding, a better understanding?
Okay. Because a grand jury is a makeup of the cross section of our community, ma'am. And this is where people are to be convicted by members of their peers, ma'am. A grand jury is a secrecy of the grand jury, which means that they panel don't have to be exposed to the public of what evidence is presented to them. But in the state of Texas and according to the law, his defense attorney, my defense attorney, is the one who have to ensure that all of the evidence goes to the grand jury. Why? Because the prosecution, even though it has the latitude in presenting what evidence it feels is necessary for his case, my attorney have the power and the same duty to ensure that all of the evidence is presented to the grand jury so that the grand jury can make a rational decision in how to indict this case. And if there is any evidence from any source that can prove that Mr. Carmelo Anthony or anybody should be no bill based upon the facts of what the grand jury see, then they should be no bill as opposed to being true bill by a grand jury. So now to determine who is to be sitting in the grand jury, that is a secrecy of the grand jury that we do not have access to, but we can get a makeup of the racial makeup of the jury to determine who sit in the grand jury because of the exemption of private information, man.
Mm.
So that's where we are with that. So we can seek a makeup of the makeup of the grand jury. We just can't get them to give us exactly the evidence that they presented it, man. Only an attorney can do that.
So right now, as a community, how can we rally behind Carmelo? Because we see what is happening. We see what it is becoming. We see what has happened in the past, and we see, because we see what happened in that case that we were talking about. You know, individuals was just talking about that same case. I think it happened in 2022 where there was a YT individual that attacked a Hispanic individual and unalived him. Yet he get a slap on the wrist, and it here we want to throw